Oh, hey guys, hope you're doing well today. Oof, some music going a little tired today, getting my sleep schedule back on order. So it's like waking up earlier, but sometimes I don't fall asleep until later. But that's also getting better. Let's see. This thing is ever gonna come on and do the sound check. Sometimes it takes a while for this to pop up. Let's see if I can go to the page and find it now. Normally yeah, cool, it's working. Nice. So welcome guys. We're going back for another I Ching reading. If you're new here, you can click on the first two videos that I did about this reading, and you can listen to me explain the history, why I've chosen to do this, and why I'm sharing it. This was one of the tools that Carl Jung used and relied on during his process of individuation. So let's go ahead and start this hexagram. This is a reminder, because this is an ancient text, you can find it in the public domain. First is 9, so we have a changing line already. This is an odd number, so this is odd number is a solid line, young masculine energy. And then we start from the bottom and go up. So we have 5 more. 8, even number, yin, feminine energy with a broken line for broken receptivity. Ooh. What does that say? I'm not going to change it. Head. So 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 also an odd number, so it's going to be a solid line. And here we have fire. And fire and water are opposites, right? Yeah, fire and water. Yep, cool. So the bottom trigram, we have fire. Starting to memorize those lines, patterns. What is this? 6. So we have another changing line. This is an even number, so yin energy, broken line. Oh, we have another changing line. 9. Damn, a lot of changing lines. The past few days, solid, and then we only have one more left. And let's see what the top trigram is. 6, 8. It is 8, so that's even. That means it's going to be a broken line. Oh, wow. Okay, so we have the opposites. So we have fire on the bottom and water on the top, and those are the opposite signs. Because the fire has a solid on the bottom, a solid on the top, and a gap in the middle. And then water has a solid line in the middle with 2 broken lines above and below. So the bottom trigram is fire, and the upper one is water. The 63. I think this might be a new one. Let's go ahead and double check. It's almost the last one because there are 64. Let's see. Yeah, I've read this before. Yes. Let's see. Now, let's go ahead and do the double checking. Sorry, I always erase my camera when I do the reading. Make sure we have the right diagram. And you can see that this is correct. So we had the right, that was like alternating. All of the lines alternating. Solid, solid gap, solid gap, solid gap. Interesting. So, and we also have 3 changing lines, 1, 4, and 5. Okay, so this one is called Chi after completion. Good fortune unfolds for those who remain on guard against inferior influences. This hexagram indicates that the movement from chaos to order is complete. Wow, that's really nice. We're going to read that one more time. The first opening line. This hexagram indicates that the movement from chaos to order is complete. The time is extremely favorable, and you are likely to enjoy much success as long as you heed the warning of Chi. Remain on guard against incorrect thoughts, attitudes, and actions, both in yourself and others. I'll read that also, the second sentence, one more time. The time is extremely favorable, and you are likely to enjoy much success as long as you heed the warning of Chi. This sounds kind of funny, but this is the name of the hexagram. Continuing with the reading. Remain on guard against incorrect thoughts, attitudes, and actions, both in yourself and in others. We arrive in beneficial situations by following the path of correct conduct. When we have achieved success or are close to it, it is in our nature to want to relax and allow the ego to bask in glory. If you revert to this sort of carelessness now, you will undo all that you have worked to build. It is important not to become indifferent to spiritual details at this time. If a thought or action even borders on incorrectness, discard it and return to the path of the sage immediately. 1 minute we dip our toe in incorrectness, the next minute we are swimming in it, and the next we drown. Therefore, it is wiser to simply keep our toes dry in the first place. You are also counseled to remain alert to inferior influences in others. You can only prevent misfortunes by accepting them in advance, and this is achieved through watchfulness. The image of Chi is that of a kettle of water boiling over a fire. There's great power here, but it is lost if one allows the water to boil over and evaporate through carelessness and indifference. Alertness and conscientious adherence to what is correct are called for if you wish to prolong your good fortune now. I'll read that last sentence one more time. Alertness and conscientious adherence to what is correct are called for if you wish to prolong your good fortune now. We have the first, fourth, and fifth changing lines. The first line, to get drunk on the possibility of success and rush carelessly forward invites disaster. Proceed slowly and thoughtfully, and your progress will endure. Slow and steady wins the race, huh? The fourth line. The best of times quickly turns sour if we relax into carelessness. Be on guard at all times. And the fifth line. The higher power looks not only at our actions, but into our hearts to gauge our worthiness. Through genuine inner modesty, acceptance, and innocence, you correct your own errors and set an example for others. I'm going to read the changing lines one more time just so we have a reference. The first line, to get drunk on the possibility of success and rush carelessly forward invites disaster. Proceed slowly and thoughtfully, and your progress will endure. The fourth line, the best of times quickly turns sour if we relax into carelessness. Be on guard at all times. In the fifth line, the higher power looks not only at our actions, but into our hearts to gauge our worthiness. Through genuine inner modesty, acceptance, and innocence, you correct your own errors and set an example for others. Again, it's another synchronous. I don't even know how to say it. Synchronized reading. It really does correspond to, again, and unsurprisingly, again, it corresponds to greatly corresponds to my current situation and matters at hand. And so I do take that with depth. Let's go ahead and, as we did the other day, look at some other translations of that. Move this over here, Hexagram 63. I'm going to do some more research on this today to listen to a bit more. This is, let me see if I can change my screen now. Hopefully when I'm changing the screen, you guys can also oh cool, perfect, it's working now. I'm looking for this one. We can have this one. Oh yeah, I have to go in here. It's open. Oh yeah. Okay. I'm gonna zoom this in because I'm blind as hell still, y'all. I'm like literally visually impaired, like old person. After completion. So this is just a different kind of translation of the same hexagram. So just going to be looking at those different translations. I think earlier this week or last week, I discussed briefly how this Brian Walker Brown Walker, whatever, confused. It's not that it's, I think they say this is more of an academic translation and less of a spiritual. I forget the criticism. I need to look that up and maybe Google it. Actually, let's ask ChatGPT. Maybe that's not the best source, but I think I saw this on, where did I read about that? Maybe the Benabel Wins YouTube channel. Brian, how does the Brian Brown? Oh, with the E on the end. Walker. The I Ching compare to others. Strengths and weaknesses of this translation. Okay, so I said, how does Brian Brown Walker's translation of the I Ching compared to others? What are the strengths and weaknesses of this translation? So let's go ahead and see what the ChatGPT says. Hopefully they're right, because this ChatGPT has been tripping lately. Okay, so actually it says the Brian Brown Walker is best for personal growth, psychology, and spirituality. It's modern and direct. However, the faithfulness to the original is one of the lowest compared to all of the other ones. So I don't know if I can, these are the different translations that they have shown us here. So they've kind of ranked them. Maybe I will put this table in an image format. I wish I could do that in the easy way. Wait a minute. Damn. I wish there was like an easy way to like actually capture this. And oh, perfect. So I have an idea, guys. Okay, so we're going to do like this. I hope this is going to work out. Sorry, it's taking it's a bit cumbersome process. But I really want to be able to share this with you so we can discuss this. And you can also take some references from this in terms of if you want to look into this for your own benefit and resources purposes. I need to probably change the screen sharing situation. Okay. So apparently I can only change it from share from Google. So I had to do one more step, go to Google Docs and put this piece there. Then we can share that page. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Bingo. Okay. It's a little bit messy, but it gets the job done, guys. Okay, so here you go. This is just a quick feedback that I had from ChatGPT. So the Brian Brown Walker is the one that we're using. And so this is best for personal growth, psychology, or spirituality. It's modern and direct, but it has the lowest faithfulness to the original. So that's interesting. I'd like to understand that a bit more and how they make that determination. The Richard Willem, traditional study, classic, symbolic. Stephen Carter, mysticism and shamanism, poetic. I'm interested in that also, even though it's not as highly ranked. And serious Taoist scholarship, dense but accurate. And traditional Chinese, accessible yet faithful. And so I'm really interested in these three translations. Let's see, is it in the public domain? Let's see. Maybe this is not, what is it called? Did they say who is the translation of this? They don't say the source of. There's actually so much information and commentary. Wow, I guess this is really what makes things more interesting. Let's see if I click here. But who is, how do you know which is the, I don't know, how do you know which is the translation? They don't even make any notes to that. So anyway, let's just read this one. It is a fine irony that after completion of a project or an enterprise, there's still so much to do. Completion is merely a pause in the cycle of creation and decay, a momentary still point for the swinging pendulum of life. Though completion implies a period of restful pause, one that has been well earned, it is not an actual ending. It is a harmonious flat spot in the constancy of change and movement, like the still point between inhalation and exhalation of one's breath. One image of the after completion hexagram is that of a kettle of water boiling over a fire. When the forces are balanced, the water boils properly. When the pot is too full and boils over, it puts the fire out. On the other hand, if the fire is too hot for too long, it can evaporate all the water. Interesting. In maintaining the equilibrium that follows the completion of an arduous task, forces at work in this situation must be monitored carefully to ensure that a proper balance is maintained. This is a time for fine-tuning, a time for refinements and embellishments of what has been accomplished. Even as we enjoy a rewarding situation, the laws of the natural world dictate that influence and success must eventually decline. Don't let your current good fortune give rise to adopting an attitude that is too careless or relaxed. Whatever is successful or already established needs to be carefully maintained without trying to expand it now. What is incomplete, on the other hand, should be brought to fruition without delay. Then take satisfaction upon completion and enjoy a sense of fulfillment, but do not linger too long on endings. Okay, so that's also a bit different. Ugh. I don't know why this thing is like randomly zooming in. So now just browsing some more various translations that we have here. I don't like how they don't tell you which. Let's see. I don't like how they tell you which translation you're reading. I mean, oh, this one all in Chinese or what? That is not. Oh, shoot. I pushed the wrong button. So I'm just browsing basically for different translations of this hexagram. So we can see, we're doing act through the small, make an offering, and you will succeed. Advantageous trial, initiating things, opening, and completing them, brings disorder. Interesting. So you guys can search around because there are many different translations as we just looked at earlier today. And I still need to do more work. I just have been relying on this one because it was the first one that I picked up. But yes, I guess I also had to use the restroom right now because I have drank way too much water at the gym. I'll be right back, guys. Oof. Okay, so sorry, I drank a lot of water today. This is still 63, right? Let me go back to the other book and see what they say. After completion, and then they call it already crossing. You see, there is quite like a distinction, between these translations. Again, I don't speak Chinese, let alone this ancient Chinese, and nothing about that. So, already crossing, act to the small, make an offering, and you will succeed. Advantageous trial, initiating things open the way, completing them brings disorder. Proceed actively, stay the course. Think about danger and prepare a defense. Beware of blind confidence and overachieving. Maintain balance and pace. Use your intuition. The image. The old character shows a person turning away from a full vessel of cooked food, a flowing river, and the shallow place where the river can be crossed. Circle of meaning. Begun, already underway, and progress. Proceed actively. Everything is in place. Oh, so beautiful. The autumn and harvest, surrounded by danger but secure within. Oh, that's also beautiful. Accepting inner guidance now lets you manage the flux of events. Wow, this is also perfect. The heart theme is 64, preparing the decisive new move. Have I ever read 64? Yeah. After completion, before completion. The role of voice of the fathers. This is an inspiring figure and a gate of change. a site of intense meditating activity, um, mediating activity that connects the primal powers to personal life and culture. It is an approach to the final stage of the symbolic life, birth into the life of the spirit, and the passage across the river of life and death, where the significance of life is revealed. The situation, a time of balance and order in which the new is prepared. This is beautiful. Caring for others. Complete the work at hand. Pay attention to the details. Maintain the pace of things and do not precipitate change. Allow events to carry you forward. Setting intentions. Recognize real achievements. Be prudent and prepare for new challenges. Refine things. The demands of the new time will arise out of what you set up in the past. Do not leave important elements unattended. What you accomplish will depend on continued application of skill and care. Kind of like this reparenting process that we're doing. Change from the inside out. Connect new efforts with past work. Do not think success is guaranteed. Analyze strategies carefully. Interesting, guys. Very interesting. Very, very interesting indeed. And so I've been looking for, I don't think any of those translations are actually available. I don't even know. I really wish, maybe I just need to buy the other books. This is also a very, very short one. Let's look at this one. So this is very simple, minimal. So I Ching 63, after completion, encourages mindfulness, vigilance, and balance in times of success or fulfillment. Symbolizes a state of completion and tranquility. Enjoy the fruits of your labor, but stay alert against complacency and negative influences. Interpretation. Even in success, one should remain grounded in their principles. Hexagram 63 warns against the resurgence of ego and the decay of discipline. It also emphasizes the importance of self-control and mindfulness. Which changing lines do we have? 1, 4, and 5. 1, 4, and 5. Line 1 advises caution and patience, especially under pressure. Success requires humility, willingness to learn, and resilience to navigate through difficult times. 4 and 5. Line 4 urges us to resist complacency. Even the most impressive accomplishments can unravel if we let our guard down. Stay focused on your goals. And the 5th line, true greatness comes from an inner sense of modesty and acceptance. Gain respect through correcting errors and leading by example. Okay. It's nice. I think maybe this is just his own personal summary of this. You guys can see this page. I don't have to share it again. In this entry, we explore the meaning of hexagram 63, Chi-Chi. They call it Gigi. They say Chi-Chi. In the I Ching, and discover the symbols of its stability, power, the English name is after completion. Other names already fulfilled. Completion. Already fording. Fording. I don't even know this word. What does this word mean? What is that? For real? Y'all don't, it's not like my phone. Ugh, this is so annoying. Why are you not going to tell me the name of this? A ford is a shallow section. Oh, you guys can't see when I look at this. A ford is a shallow section of a river or stream where it may be crossed by wading on horseback or inside a vehicle. Interesting. I didn't know that was called a ford. Huh. I wonder, is that where you get the name for the Ford truck? A ford may occur naturally or be constructed. Fords may be impassable during high water. A low water crossing is a low bridge that allows crossing over a river or stream when water is low, but may be treated as a ford when the river is high and water covers the crossing. The word ford is both a noun and a verb. Interesting. Huh. I really never heard that word before. I guess you always find something. Ooh, okay. So I think we're getting into something spicy here. This one seems a little bit more interesting, more details. Okay, hexagram 63 after completion. Hexagram 63, known as Gigi, is Chinese. In Chinese, represents the principle of, after completion, and maintaining balance. This hexagram is composed of the water trigram above and the fire trigram below, creating an image of water over fire. Oh, excuse me. Symbolizing how completion brings both achievement and new challenges. Trigram analysis. The upper trigram is water, composed of one solid line between two broken lines, representing flow and adaptability. The lower trigram is fire, composed of two solid lines with a broken line in between them, representing clarity and illumination. So, it's showing flow and adaptability from your clarification and illumination. When these trigrams combined, they create a metaphor for balanced completion. Water's flowing nature above fire's illuminating quality suggests how achievement must be maintained through continued attention and balance. This combination points to the importance of vigilance after success. Interesting. In nature, hexagram 63 corresponds to water keeping fire in check, maintaining a perfect balance. This natural metaphor represents how completion requires ongoing maintenance and attention. This hexagram also represents the sage who understands that completion is not an endpoint, but a transition. This human dimension emphasizes the importance of maintaining balance and awareness after achieving success. The core meanings and attributes. The essence of hexagram 63 is the power of maintaining balance after completion. This manifests as the virtue of vigilance, the power of maintenance, the wisdom of balance, the importance of attention, and the strength of completion. These attributes combine to create a powerful symbol to achieve balance. The hexagram suggests a time when maintaining equilibrium after success is essential. First, 4 and 5. The first line shows dragging one's wheels, suggesting initial difficulties in maintaining balance. The fourth line demonstrates the finest clothes becoming rags, indicating the need for renewal. And the fifth line shows the eastern neighbor sacrificing an ox, representing shared celebration. This is really interesting. Like these now I see why these translations make such a difference, because the communication is so different. And so there's a lot of information on this website. That's really cool. It does go deeper in a different perspective. And now I'm looking at some other. Let's see. You know, these are going to open up. Again, another who is this translation? How do I turn this off? So you guys can see this page here. Key questions. What is decided and what now? Oracle, already across, creating small success. Consistency bears fruit. Beginnings, good fortune, endings, chaos. You have committed yourself and made a transition. Even if the change so far is internal, a resolve formed or decision made, there is a sense in which everything is in place. Now you create success in small ways and in small things. You attend to details, working with what you've already decided or achieved. In following through, you stay loyal to your original reasons for making the crossing. So this is really interesting. They have a lot of the history and things like that, how it relates, though it's not necessarily. Ooh, Benabel, my girl. Yes, I didn't even know she had this on her website. Okay, guys, I didn't know she go into details like this for each one. Okay, so guys, I'm gonna put this link here because this is the girl that I was telling you guys all about, Benabel Ven. You cannot see the email at the top, but I'm gonna put this here because this is amazing. This is, oh my god, I can't believe she did this. Oh, beautiful. So yeah, after the ending, anticipate pitfalls. Anticipate pitfalls before advancing. How might your actions affect others? A noble leader puts the people's welfare before self-interest. You have done what you have done. The matter is now, what happens next? It is the time after an ending and the start of a new beginning. Call upon the illustrious ancestors. When it comes to receiving favor from the divine, the extravagance of your offering does not matter. The sincerity of your heart and piety matter more. Okay. Auspicious omen for minor affairs. Gains to be had. At the inception, favorable proceedings. At its cessation, chaos, disorder, and unrest. And kettle burning over the stove, the results of steam. Be cautious as tensions abound. Water over fire is unsustainable for both. If the water boils over, yeah, this is a scene that we read last time. It's true that great energy is generated by water over fire, but it is still a hostile relationship. Exercise caution. The sage anticipates possible misfortune and pitfalls before advancing to best protect the people. Think about the consequences your actions may have for others, not just yourself. The endeavor you contemplate is indeed highly attractive to you, with great prospects for glory and success. However, it creates a volatile environment that could have adverse impacts on those who depend on you. A noble leader puts the people's welfare before self-interest. Ferrying relief across the river. It is the aftermath. You have crossed the great stream. The matter now is what happens next. Damn, she even put the translation for the Chinese. Damn, this girl go into so much detail. This is literally a 7-page analysis on this one. So we had the first line. The journey is delayed. A fox's tail gets wet. There is no blame. I mean, that road conditions cause. Hope you guys are like checking this out with me. Seem to jump. Oh, this is from some. Oh, yeah, here's her name, actually, guys. If you just Google that on YouTube or search that on YouTube, you will find her channel. I love this lady. She's like my hero, one of my latest heroes. This is exactly what I was looking for to look deeper and to understand what is going on. So this is really so beautiful. I'm so glad. So we had the first, fourth, and fifth. Oh no. fourth and fifth line, right? Where is the fourth and fifth line? Oh, damn, that's all for the second line? Damn. A word for vanquish, fa, used in third line, also happens to be a reference to the three stars, a constellation. This is like I told y'all, this book is so deep. Like it's it is so. Oh my god! If you are guys any at all interested to this, I definitely recommend that you check out this girl's channel. I mean, her channel is just beyond amazing. It's not even her job. She's like an attorney, and she does this for fun. But the level of detail that she goes in here, like literally taking out in detail each line, each word of each translation, and how we looked at all those different translations earlier to see all the different ways that you can translate it, and how this version here, it was good for personal development, for being quite modern and direct, but it's not necessarily the most accurate in line with the traditional I Ching, but it's also a good resource to use for personal development, because I think he's wording it in a way that we can kind of like metabolize easier in the West. But she is going into the original text, and even you guys saw some of the other translations that we read have a bit more detailed, or independent translations as well, that really do stray away from what Brian Brown Walker is putting in this book. The word for vanquish, fa, used in the third line, also happens to be a reference to the three stars, a constellation symbolic of the three stellar gods, that is often represented at the top of a Taoist Fu talisman. Even they use talisman. Moreover, Taoist traditions, martial arts, and the military are connected to ritual magic, and the mystical, such as the Lady of Nine Heavens, being a patron divinity that teaches both military strategy and occult practices. Thus, the passage from the third line, let me see I started learning Chinese, but I cannot read this shit yet. I'm just asking for the pinyin. Gao Zong Fa Gui Feng. Gao Zong Fa Gui Feng. So that is the one that we're looking at here. Where did that page go? Here. Can be repurposed and reinterpreted as ancestor. Gaozong vanquishes the demon. Interesting. Repurposed, it becomes an incantation used for exorcising a ghost or demon. Okay. A Fu talisman or sigil is crafted to petition the ancestor Gaozong. No. Gaozong. The incantation is recited in an exorcism ritual to call upon the ancestral power. The demon and exorcism continue when thunder rites are implied in the context of the Guifeng devils in Hexagram 64, line 4. Y'all see how deep this is? I mean, and I feel like you could be reading this like forever, because this book is so deep. I mean, this is older than China itself. I think this book was even written before China was like technically founded. So it's like, it's really ancient. That's why you even notice these ancient Chinese. This is traditional, like before Chinese character. These is before Chinese characters. And this is modern Chinese characters. So this is like the ancient Chinese character. It was like literally written in that language, not even the modern Chinese. So we had the fourth and fifth line also. Fine silks become rags. Take caution throughout the day. Every golden era must come to an end, and how it ends is dependent on the ruler. Here, day can be symbolic of an era or a chapter in your life path. Whoa. Yeah, that's what I really feel like right now. This is a section coming to an end. It has been, what is this, 7 years now? Ironically, 7 years. So I really align with this also. Although you are enjoying prosperity and good fortune, be cautious and stay modest. In spite of abundance, fruition, and a verdant, picturesque landscape in your current life of sight, there are elements of decay in every situation at hand. Okay. So remain in a place of balance and equanimity. And then we have also the fifth line, and I'll stop this here because we've been reading almost an hour on this one hexagram. But you guys know, once I get started talking about Benabel, then we're gonna be going for a while because I really love her. The fifth line, the eastern neighbor slaughters oxen to the gods, and yet they do not receive the blessings. They do not receive the blessings that their western neighbor receives. The western neighbor need only make small, simple sacrificial offerings. When it comes to receiving favor from the divine, the extravagance of your offering does not matter. It is the sincerity of your heart and piety that matter more. Happiness cannot be quantified. It is the quality that counts. Ostentatious displays of your success will not bring joy. Damn, man, these words, like, yo, I know this, like, this is ridiculous. Ostentatious. I should know this word, but whatever. Sometimes you just forget. An exaggerated, over-the-top display of wealth, power, or knowledge intended to attract attention or impress others. Okay, ostentatious. Success in small, humble undertakings. Disappointment in extravagant ambitions. The fifth line is a reference to the Ching practice of sacrificing animals to their gods and ancestors. They are referred to as the eastern neighbor. Meanwhile, the Zhou shifted the people away from animal sacrifices to what they deemed more civil forms of worship. The Zhou are the western neighbor. I mean, this book is freaking amazing. God. I am just like amazed at this right now. I mean, I wish I could just study this forever because this is comparing Shang and Zhou sacrificial offerings. Maybe this is only for the last one, right? Facing adversity and hardship. Let's see. The Zhou dynasty marked a historic and enduring change to Chinese society. And one such shift was in the ritualized ways that the gods were honored. The Shang were documented as engaging in human sacrifice to please their gods. Wow. So I guess, yeah, definitely this is something that's international. Continue with the reading. The warrior queen Fu Hao led ceremonial rites involving human sacrifices and offerings of tiger heads. This is crazy, man. It is the Duke of Zhou, I think is how you say that, who shifts the culture and the society of ritual and religious ceremony. Rather than using human sacrifice as a means to appeal to the gods, the Zhou dynasty establishes the precedent of using rites, poetry, and songs. The Zhou venerated their gods and ancestors through ceremonies, poetry, and songs. Per the Book of Rites, a classical treatise dated to the Zhou dynasty on the rituals and etiquette of the Zhou, offering to the gods and ancestors could include cooked meals, incense, jade, or precious stones taken, and cups filled with spirits, alcohol. Interesting. You can offer alcohol to the foreigner. Okay, so guys, this is a very long reading. As a reminder, I'll put a link to this text here because this was the most interesting one that we read so far. So I hope you guys enjoyed this journey into a little bit deeper exploration of the I Ching. As I mentioned before, And as we looked at earlier, there are many different translations, and there are different advantages and disadvantages to each translation. I've also been talking to you guys lately about the Benabel Ven. So definitely check out her YouTube channel in case you want to expand your knowledge. She does not only talk about the I Ching, she talks about other texts as well. And basically, she goes into so much detail. Like if you want to learn about the history and all of the things like we're looking at here, going into the details of like the history, how this developed, how things are, people of the devil. I'm sorry, I get distracted because it's like so much information. But I need to look up this book because I guess she's written this, but I didn't know. But I will leave the link in the show notes, and you can check it out when you have some time. Yeah, that's it for today. As always, thanks for being here. I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you soon. Take care.